to protect citizens of the country. Article says no economic sense in reviving failed refineries after $1.5 billion. Outcry grows over e-transmission ahead of Senate emergency session. IPOB Kano cancel Monday sit-at-home order in the southeast. That's on the front page as well this morning. SCN rank under scrutiny as AGF CJN won against abuse of influence. Front page of The Guardian today. Right, let's go to the Tribune newspaper now. Electoral Act, Senate to hold emergency sitting as NLC threatens mass action. Akpabio, conference committee members, others come under pressure. We won't take anything less than real-time transmission, says Abaribe. Human rights lawyers, SDP, others condemn Senate. Front page of the Tribune today. Khan urges Tinubu to establish military base in Niger State. That's on the front page of the Tribune as well. Article demands privatization of refinery, says politics must never substitute for sound and transformative policy. Insecurity, Tinubu receives commander of U.S. Africa Command. IPOB Council sit-at-home order. That's also from the Tribune today. Federal government reopens Samiya border corridor in Kebbi State. Police seize a large consignment of illicit drugs in Ibadan. NDLEA arrests a China-bound auto parts dealer for ingesting 95 wraps of cocaine. And finally, from the Tribune today, police confirm death of blogger. 3 others inside Lagos Music Studio. Front page of the Tribune today. All right, let's move on to the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Front page of the Daily Trust, Electoral Act Amendment Bill, NLC threatens mass action. That's on the front page of the Daily Trust today. 30 die, many injured in Kano road accident. US-Nigerian travel dips amid visa ban and entry restriction. Attack on police facilities kill 45 officers in 1 year. Romy killings, Edo yet to pay compensation 11 months after. IPOB and sit-at-home order in Southeast. Reptiles take over FCT Health Center. War killings exposes Nigeria's rural security collapse. That's according to 𝐷𝐿. And finally, from the Daily Trust, US-Nigerian travel dips amid visa ban and entry restriction. Front page of the Tribune today. Right, let's go to the Punch newspaper now. Nigeria not lacking in talent, says Peter Obi. Electoral Act standoff, that's from the Punch newspaper, I should say. Senate calls emergency plenary as protests loom. Tinubu why for historic UK state visit in March. Kogi shuts markets, motor parks to flush out terrorists. Army probes alleged military protection of drug peddlers in Kano. 2 killed as trucks collide on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Canada-based Nigerian faces trial over alleged hate-motivated harassment. Makinde Wike camp set for showdown at PDP headquarters today. That's on the front page of the Punch today. Tinubu U.S. AFRICOM chief holds security talks in Abuja. APC, ADC, PDP upbeat ahead of February 12 FCT election. Ghana recalls envoy to Nigeria over alleged electoral malpractices. That's coming from the Punch newspaper today. Suspected kidnapper arrested after gun duel in Edo Forest. Illegal waste dumping, lawma cracks down on Lagos Island. That's also coming from the Punch today. Edo APC chair dismisses one-party state fears. Adelike's aide Osun APC bicker over planned pensioners' protest. Kwara massacre, PDP chieftain condemns killing, faults military response. That's on the front page of the Punch this morning. Obasanjo's daughter rules out Senate return. Eyes Ogun governorship seat. That's on the front page of the Punch as well. 2027 Rivers supporters don't need governor to mobilize for Tinubu, says Wike. Factional PDP BOT chair hails Tinubu. Otis infrastructure strides. Front page of the Punch today. Okay, let's go to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. How 3 Southern senators scuttled real-time e-transmission of election results. That's according to sources. Tinubu receives U.S. military delegation at Aso Rock. That's on the front page of the Vanguard as well. NNPCL's $1.5 billion refinery failure proves my call for privatization was right, says Atiku. Manufacturers record 1.8 trillion unsold goods as demand slumps. I have no rift with Oshiomhole, says Tenebe. A China-bound auto parts dealer excretes 95 wraps of cocaine. That's according to the NDLEA. Suspected Edo kidnappers arrested in gun duel. That's on the front page of the Vanguard as well. Lagos shorts Ladipo spare parts market over environmental violations. Lagos SSG heads a funeral committee for late Akran of Badagry. Last on the front page. On the sports side of things, Real Madrid put pressure on Barcelona with tight victory at Valencia. My kids got death threat during NSAS, says actress Omotola. Kano accident, FRSC confirms 7 persons dead on the front page of the Vanguard as well. And finally, from the Vanguard newspaper, 2027 ADC has many people to challenge Tinubu, says the former sports minister Simon Dalung, front page of the Vanguard today. Right, let's go to The Nation before we take our first commercial break of the morning. Front page of The Nation newspaper. Senate reconvenes on Electoral Act 2022 amendment. NEC summit to strengthen economic coordination, accelerate inclusive growth, says Atiku Bagudu. Akpabio adopts Arise with RHI as APC political structure for Tinubu Eno. That's in Akwa Ibom State. Bank of Industry secures CBN approval to operate non-interest banking window. Why global economy must be reset, says Wale Edun. Mo Abudu refutes claims of Nollywood cabal controlling cinemas and screenings. That's on the front page of The Nation as well. And let's quickly take our first commercial break of the morning. When we get back, we'll be joining our analysts to help us break down the stories making headlines across the dailies. Do stay with us.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggie Star in double cubes. Double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggie Star Double Cubes, made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggie brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggie Double Cubes today. Me and Maggie, so good together.
Wetin happen? Omo, every time I do small transaction, they don't slam me with Orishirishi extra charges, SMS alert, bank transfer, even bill payment sef. They no dey pity person at all. You never hear say with smart cash you fit send money go another bank, pay your bills and receive SMS alert all for free. For free? Yes, now for free. Dem go even pay you 15% interest per annum on top your savings.
Hey, cut so for me now. How fit I join smart cash?
Dial *939# or download the Smart Cash app today to begin enjoy zero extra charges on all transactions. Smart Cash, money matter na sense o. Smart Cash na by INT'L.
This Ramadan, emotions ignite. Can rival sisters overcome pride? Will a defiant daughter find forgiveness? Can a bride's faith save her husband? A businessman rediscovers family. An influencer chooses between friends and fame. A single mom discovers even strength needs support.
6 stories, 30 days. Faith, family, friendship, food, forgiveness. Tales of Ramadan Season 2. Catch every dramatic moment on TV and digital. This Ramadan, Maggie turns up the heat.
Me and Maggie, so good together.
Kò bá jẹ́ 24, 29 tàbí 32 ṣáà ti fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa lórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ kàn tẹ 32FM 949 fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggie Star in double cubes, double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggie Star Double Cubes, made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggie brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggie Double Cubes today. Me and Maggie, so good together.
Jẹ́ nínú ẹ̀bùn owó tó lé ní 80 million naira àtàwọn ẹ̀bùn míì tó jojú ní gbèsè nínú ìdíje Golden Hunt promo yìí.
Kò yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ìkéde yìí mọ́ rárá. Pàápàá tó tún ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀bùn owó tó jẹ́ 80 million naira àti ẹ̀bùn mìíràn tí wọ́n tún mẹ́nu bà.
Kí ló dé tó fi sọ bẹ́ẹ̀?
Nítorí pé ìyá mi nìkan ti tó láti wá díẹ̀ tó tún lọ́rọ̀ owó tó jẹ́ 80 million naira nínú.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí ìṣàwárí náà bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ẹ ṣáà ti ra yálà òdiwọ̀n 30 gram àti 45 gram Golden Mon Golden Hunt tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́. Ẹ yẹnu rẹ̀ wò fún nọ́mbà àrà ọ̀tọ̀ kan kí ẹ sì tẹ *8011*1# kẹ́lẹ̀ ní àǹfààní àti jẹ̀bù ńlá. Promo parí ní April 15, 2026. Golden Mon jẹ́ kí gbogbo ọjọ́ ó dàbí wúrà.
This Ramadan, emotions ignite. Can rival sisters overcome pride? Will a defiant daughter find forgiveness? Can a bride's faith save her husband? A businessman rediscovers family. An influencer chooses between friends and fame. A single mom discovers even strength needs support.
6 stories, 30 days. Faith, family, friendship, food, forgiveness. Tales of Ramadan Season 2. Catch every dramatic moment on TV and digital. This Ramadan, Maggie turns up the heat.
Me and Maggie, so good together.
Láti ọdún 1960 ni a ti ń kọ́lé ṣùgbọ́n tayọ àwọn ọ̀nà àti afárá a kó àwọn èròǹgbà láti sopọ̀ ní ìletò gbogbo jákèjádò.
Èèyàn mi lè gbé wá tilẹ̀ yàtọ̀ ìrẹsì jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù so wá pọ̀.
Tayọ àwọn ibùgbé a kó ìbáṣepọ̀ láàrin àwọn ẹbí ọ̀rẹ́ àti ará.
Ìyá mi ìyá àgbà àti bàbá àgbà ti dé o.
Tayọ àwọn ọ́fíìsì a kọ́ ìpìlẹ̀ fún ìfìdímúlẹ̀ ibùdó agbára ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà.
Àwọn kókó inú ìròyìn náà pẹ̀lú GDP.
Tayọ àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ a kọ́ àwùjọ iṣẹ́ ọpọlọ àti ìdàgbàsókè orílẹ̀-èdè. Tayọ àwọn ibùdó ìdárayá a kọ́ ìnífẹ̀ẹ́sí àti ìmúlòkùnkúndùn orílẹ̀-èdè. Pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ àwa àti yín a ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ àwọn ìpìlẹ̀ àná àti òní pẹ̀lú àgbájọ ọwọ́ ó dájú pé a ó ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ àwọn ohun tó kàn. Lafarge ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Washin àtayọ ilé kíkọ́ nìkan.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM 94.9, the antidote to depression.
Welcome back, Papers Review, right here on 32 FM 94.9. Right now, it's time for us to analyze the stories making headlines across the dailies this morning. We have Barrister Emil Gunola joining us as our analyst for today. Barrister, good morning, sir.
Oh, good morning, Toba.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nigeria.
Right, so let's kick things off with the Punch newspaper from the Senate. Of course, they announced that they'll be having an emergency plenary session on Tuesday tomorrow. This is coming amid mounting pressure and outrage over the recent passage of Electoral Act Amendment Bill, especially the issues surrounding the mandating real-time electronic transmission of election results. Now, the decision was disclosed on Sunday in a statement by the Clerk of the House, Emmanuel Odo, said all the senators have been directed to reconvene for the emergency plenary session by 12 noon on Tuesday. This is coming as the NLC, that's the Labour Congress, is warning of potential nationwide protest, election boycott as well, over what it described as the confusion and contradictory provisions of the Senate on amendment to the Electoral Act, especially regarding the real-time transition of results. The Labour unions are also accusing the Senate of undermining public confidence in Nigeria's electoral process by failing to clearly state whether electronic transmission of results will be mandatory or will be at the discretion of INEC. So, the Senate is meeting on Tuesday, emergency plenary session. First of all, Barrister, what are your expectations at that meeting? And then what are your thoughts on the, possible protest to be staged by the NLC and other civil society organizations?
Yes, thank you very much, Toba. Section 14, subsection 2C of the Constitution guarantees the participation by the people in their government. And if that be so, then the National Assembly owes it a duty to allow the people's voice be heard in their governance. And one of the ways that the Constitution has fashioned out for the people's participation is through their elections. Now, there is a disease of the Commonwealth. Elections are believed not to count. And this was what led to the promulgation or the enactment of the Electoral Act, aided by the regulations and guidelines for the conduct of elections. Now, the 2023 elections showed that those provisions are inadequate, especially given the verdict of the Apex Court that held that the regulations that stipulated the procedure for the counting and the collation of election results could be overridden by discretion. Nigerians are worried because, as you know, in 2023, we had a very, very tough time. Wasteful judicial activities before determining who is the winner of elections. So the disease of the Commonwealth is to find a way out of such a problem so that we do not fall into the same pit a second time. If you look at the regulations, it has the provision for the transfer or transmission of election results from the wards to the next level, as contained in section 53, subsection, I think, 12 or thereabout. You know, so if Nigerians are now asking that rather than this not too straightforward provision, or that provision being contained in the regulations that is not law, as the Supreme Court has made us understand, then I think it makes sound reason that Nigerians are now asking that the mode of transfer of or the transmission of electoral results be a part and parcel of the law, that is the Electoral Act itself, rather than being banished to the regulations. You know, for better electoral process.
And Barrister, just to have a well-rounded conversation, as you're saying, some Nigerians are asking for real time. I've also seen some Nigerians saying that, look, you know, number one, we are not ready for this real-time election transmission of results simply because we still do manual voting. There are those who also argue that, you know, from experiences across the world, we've seen allegations of even voting machines being manipulated in the United States, in Brazil, for instance, that this itself is not totally immune from any form of manipulation, or even those who want to hack into the system as well. So, I mean, that's on one side. There's also the argument that collation is still done manually, even at the National Collation Center for Presidential Elections. So what's the fuss about electronic transmission of results? That a lot of factors come into play on election day in Nigeria that sometimes you might not be able to do real-time transmission of results, that we should leave it at the discretion of the Electoral Commission. That's on the other side of the argument, just to have a well-rounded conversation.
It is a fallacious argument to be comparing oranges and apples. All right? Because every case has its own peculiarity. Nigeria is not America. Okay, look at the American situation. for instance, like the European nations, they have a convention to ensure that elections are credible, free and fair. That is not to say that there may not be one or two instances of discrepancies and all that, but that the institutions are solid enough to ensure that there are credible elections. If there were no credible elections in America, President Trump would not have come. I can assure you. You saw all that happened pre-election in America. The man was even almost assassinated, you know. But because of the electoral process, the soundness of the electoral process is why we have what we have.
But you remember
Nigeria's peculiarity.
Yes, you remember Barrister. Just sorry for butting in there. If you remember,
yes,
he also was, making or unsubstantiated allegation when he lost in 2020 that his supporters invaded the Congress. He said the election was manipulated, it was stolen. He threw a lot of tantrums at the time before he got re-elected again in the last election cycle.
Yes, that's why I said yes. There can be one or two instances. We have always seen it,
Yes.
Florida has always been a problem,
Yes.
in American elections and all that, But in the main, their elections have been free and fair. We have a problem here, and that's why we decided to tackle the disease of the Commonwealth by coming up with these provisions.
Right.
Ordinarily, what we have in the regulations would have been very okay, not needing amendment. However, because the Supreme Court deviated from its normal course, because hitherto the Supreme Court had held that regulations made pursuant to a primary act is subsidiary legislation. If the Supreme Court had stuck to that principle, then the issue of discretion overriding the provisions of the regulations would not have come up.
Right.
And so now, because the Supreme Court has ruled that regulations are not sub-legislation as earlier held, then it becomes imperative to have that provision inserted in the Electoral Act.
Right. Okay, let's quickly move away from this headline now and go to another one. This is coming from the Vanguard newspaper. Is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar criticizing the NNPCL's $1.5 billion refinery investment, which according to him has failed. He says it was a waste of resources for the country, and he says it validates its long-standing call for the privatization of Nigeria's state-owned refineries. He made the assertion yesterday in reaction to a comment attributed to the NNPCL's claim that the facility in Port Harcourt is not profitable despite $1.5 billion being spent on rehabilitating it. Atiku is saying, look, why spend $1.5 billion on a refinery that is not working? Why not privatize everything? There are some Nigerians who have also said that, Dangote refinery working is, lends credence to the fact that maybe government should just hands off and let private individuals take over this refinery. Atiku has been calling for privatization of refineries for a long time.
Of course, for this purpose, I may have to agree with him. Why are we fetching water into a basket when, of course, reason dictates that we would not be storing it, we will be losing it? I mean, we have all seen it, that it has become a cash cow for corrupt elements in the system. Look at the humongous amount of money that is going into the refineries without any results, just like Ajaokuta Steel or whatever. You retain the workers, you are paying billions, in salaries and allowances, and the place is not functioning. Why are we keeping it? For decorative purposes or aesthetics? Even for aesthetics, it's not good enough. It is not a sight to behold. The facility is as old as you can imagine. Imagine a facility that is as old as goes back to as far as the 60s. So there is a need to make that place functional. Dangote has shown that it can be done. So if truly government has no business doing business, then let us give it to those who can do business. And it will be better for everybody.
Right, let's quickly touch on this one as well before we go on another break. The Guardian is reporting that the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has announced the immediate and permanent termination of the Monday sit-at-home order across the southeast region, bringing to an end a protest that has disrupted economic life in the region for almost 5 years. So IPOB issued a statement yesterday saying the directive was issued by the group's detained leader, Nnamdi Kanu, who is currently serving after his conviction in Sokoto prison. He urged residents to resume normal activities, reopen markets, and return children to school without fear. And this has been on for a while. I mean, it raised a lot of concerns as to what was intended, what they wanted to achieve with this sit-at-home order, economic life being, put on hold every Monday. In fact, there are videos of children who are prevented from going to school to write their to sit their SSC examination, to sit their promotion examination, both internal and external examination as well. And this is also coming as, I think it was last Monday that Professor Soludo issued a stern warning to marketers in the states that the shops will be shut down if they don't open their shops on Monday. I think we need to go on break now. When we get back, we'll treat this headline. Do stay with us on Papers Review. We'll be back in a moment.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggie Star in double cubes, double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggie Star Double Cubes, made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggie brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggie Double Cubes today. Me and Maggie, so good together.
Brotherly, I don't finally save 70,000 for this economy. 30 December, don't set. It could do, but if to show you saver with the smart saver, another 10,500 naira for the climb up. Now 15% interest per annum be that too.
Una dey use smart cash buy data, airtime and pay bills. Now we don't add the smart saver. You go get 15% interest on any amount you save, and the interest go dey drop for your account every day. You fit comot your money anytime. The best part be say you fit start with any amount. Dial star 939 hash or download the smart cash app. Make yourself begin dey enjoy. Smart cash na by INT'L. Times and conditions dey sha o. Money matter na sense.
This Ramadan, emotions ignite. Can rival sisters overcome pride? Will a defiant daughter find forgiveness? Can a bride's faith save her husband? A businessman rediscovers family. An influencer chooses between friends and fame. A single mom discovers even strength needs support.
6 stories, 30 days. Faith, family, friendship, food, forgiveness. Tales of Ramadan Season 2. Catch every dramatic moment on TV and digital. This Ramadan, Maggie turns up the heat.
Me and Maggie, so good together.
Láti ọdún 1960 ni a ti ń kọ́lé ṣùgbọ́n tayọ àwọn ọ̀nà àti afárá a kó àwọn èròǹgbà láti sopọ̀ ní ìletò gbogbo jákèjádò.
èèyàn mi léde wá tilẹ̀ yàtọ̀ ìrẹsì jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù so wá pọ̀.
Tayọ àwọn ibùgbé a kó ìbáṣepọ̀ láàrin àwọn ẹbí ọ̀rẹ́ àti ará.
ìyá mi ìyá àgbà àti bàbá àgbà ti dé o.
Tayọ àwọn ọ́fíìsì a kọ́ ìpìlẹ̀ fún ìfìdímúlẹ̀ ibùdó agbára ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà.
àwọn kókó inú ìròyìn náà pẹ̀lú GDP.
Tayọ àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ a kọ́ àwùjọ iṣẹ́ ọpọlọ àti ìdàgbàsókè orílẹ̀-èdè. Tayọ àwọn ibùdó ìdárayá a kọ́ ìnífẹ̀ẹ́sí àti ìmúlòkùnkúndùn orílẹ̀-èdè. Pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ àwa àti yín, a ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ àwọn ìpìlẹ̀ àná àti òní. Pẹ̀lú àgbájọ ọwọ́, ó dájú pé a ó ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ àwọn ohun tó kàn. Lafarge, ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Washin, àtayọ ilé kíkọ́ nìkan.
This Ramadan, emotions ignite. Can rival sisters overcome pride? Will a defiant daughter find forgiveness? Can a bride's faith save her husband? A businessman rediscovers family. An influencer chooses between friends and fame. A single mom discovers even strength needs support.
6 stories, 30 days. Faith, family, friendship, food, forgiveness. Tales of Ramadan Season 2. Catch every dramatic moment on TV and digital. This Ramadan, Maggie turns up the heat.
Me and Maggie, so good together.
Win from over 80 million naira in cash and exciting prizes in the Golden Hunt promo.
This promo, there's no need for advert anymore.
Because
my mom alone can hunt down any gist. How much more 80 million naira in prizes with the whole family involved?
Naija, let the Golden Hunt begin. Just buy any Golden Morn Golden Hunt 30 gram or 45 gram promo pack. Look inside for a unique code and dial *8011*1# for a chance to win big. Promo ends April 15, 2026. Golden Morn. Make every day golden.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggie Star in double cubes. Double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggie Star Double Cubes, made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggie brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggie Double Cubes today. Me and Maggie, so good together.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
Welcome back. Papers Review on 32 FM 94.9. Let's quickly go back to Barrister before we start taking calls. Barrister, I was asking you about the decision to finally put an end to this 5-year sit-at-home order by IPOB in the southeastern part of the country, and they said that it was Nnamdi Kanu himself that gave the instruction. Is it a coincidence that this is coming after Soludo's outburst to those marketers in Onitsha, telling them that if you don't open your shops on Monday, the state government will take over, and activities actually returned in Anambra during that period before this announcement by IPOB finally has come to an end in the southeast?
Well, first, let me say this, that Soludo has just proven the essence of government. You see, if we continue to live in Hobbes' world, we'll never get anywhere. We'll continue to be at the base of civilization and not at the apex or the middle ground. So it's a good thing that Soludo has been able to show that indeed there is a government in Anambra State. And for IPOB, it's also a good thing that finally they're allowing reason to prevail. You have a boxing match in view, and just before the match, you go get inebriated. Is the outcome not clearly predictable? It's just as simple as ABC.
Yeah.
You say you are fighting the federal government. You are killing your people politically, economically, and socially. It doesn't make sense. So I think it's a good thing that we have now come around the table of reason, and then we look for a way out.
Right. Okay, you can be a part of the conversation now by calling 0705 500949. That's 0705 500949, 0906 200949. Let's take this one. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Barrister, good morning. Yeah. I think that...
Your name, sir?
Clement. Your name is Clement.
Clement, okay.
I just want to quickly comment on the election mode.
All right.
Fine, the Supreme Court judgment created a warped situation on the issue of electronic transmission. However, I think we must learn to understand that across the world, even in the civilized situation from the US to Brazil to Canada, what we are seeing is a case of oppositions unwilling to accept defeat, irrespective of what decisions have been made. The electronic transmission is not a panacea to politicians obeying simple rules and making sure elections are not free and fair. We have seen cases where ordinary WAEC exam with IT backed, where some group of people decided to make a mess of it. So what is electronic transmission that it cannot be made a mess of? Right. When a party does not have structures, does not have people across all its polling booths to ensure that things are done, irrespective of any electronic transmission, the gentleman or the politicians will come and say the thing was not okay. So we must understand that, the peculiarity of that, and politicians must educate people, INEC must educate people to protect their vote. Electronic transmission will not be the solution.
Right.
People will look for a way of undermining it.
Right.
Let's be very clear about that.
Right.
It's being done across nations.
Okay.
Our solution, I think the idea of IREV and all that is good. Where it could be done, it will be done.
Right.
But it's not that it must be a force down the throat of Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
This is Prince Bumi Adifusi calling from Apata.
Go ahead, please.
Regarding e-voting, Nigerians want to go digital. But the excuses that there's no network in social area, there's network here, there's no network there, is a monumental failure in the part of our leaders, the past and the current leaders. At this age of Nigeria, we still don't have good network. You can imagine. And people will be saying that democracy is far, far, far better than the military regime. What was better in this democracy, we say we've been practicing since 1999 now. What has changed for better in this country?
Right. Thank you.
You can imagine. It shows that our leaders most of our leaders are not thinkers. They can't project what that can benefit the citizens, that can bring development to the country in future. But now we are still dwelling in the old days, as if we are still in the colonial era. Good morning.
Morning, sir. Thank you. Hello.
Good morning, God bless you.
Good morning.
I'm greeting our legal practitioner, advisor, and public finally. As well as you, OLORUNTOBA is back to this platform. We know you are there. What's the why? So I'm also asking after 𝐒𝐈𝐒𝐿, what are we saying this one? 𝐒𝐻𝐿, as I said earlier, you see, our political office holder, our ruler, we have no hope in them any longer. We are hopeless. They are not reliable. They are not trusted. They are not fair. Supposing all this I mentioned earlier, highly effective, we have no reason to be criticizing, murmuring, complaining here and there about the live transmission electronically. We don't need it, because supposing they are fair, supposing they totally justified to us, they totally reliable. We don't need it, because we know that our civic duty will be effective. They are not going to manipulate, but we are highly hopeless in them. They are not fair to us. That is why we are agitated. That's why we are complaining. That's why we are murmuring. So, as a matter of fact, not until they say to us, not until their equity, their justice, not until our fundamental human rights is effective, that is how we stop murmuring all this. We don't need, as a matter of fact. It's either they count it 1, 2, 3 by putting can bottles cover. It's how it is. It's all we want is effective and selfless political officer that lead us with.
Right, thank you.
My perspective, my personal opinion.
Thank you. All right, let's take some comment on Facebook now. Tuluwala Shea Adetola says any political party that is truly committed to democracy should have nothing to fear about electronic transmission of results. At a time when Nigerians are demanding credible elections, rejecting transparency sends the wrong signal and weakens public trust in the country. Electoral reforms must reflect the will of the people, not the convenience of those in power. Honorable 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐿 says transmission of election result electronically is not in our laws. Until such is passed, we can adhere strictly to it. How will they transmit an election result in an internet area? Are we going to wait till the result is moved to an internet area? However, some of our politicians are sore losers and their supporters. It is very easy to win 99% of the votes in a region, but still claiming the election is rigged. Such candidates would still won outside his own region. But the president did not have up to 5,000 votes in the southeast states. Such supporters are still claiming rigging. You don't win an election where you are not popular. Thank you, Honorable 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐿. Yes, Barrister. Yes.
Let me just quickly add this.
Yes.
Having listened to good Nigerians, make their comments on what we're saying.
Yes.
I don't also see what is happening as wrong. If you look at our history, our electoral history,
yes,
you will see that the point we're at is a continuation in our evolution. It is an attempt at perfection, and that should not be a problem for anybody. I listened to an analyst yesterday who said it is no argument to be talking about network problems, because INEC itself admitted that 93% of its coverage area is well covered by the network. So if there are a few exceptions, of course we can do one or two things. Somebody suggested faxing the result, to the collation center.
Yeah.
It is just to make it better.
Let's
it is in the course of our revolution.
Yeah. Let's take this call. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Ade from UI.
Go ahead.
I want to comment on the real-time mandatory of election transmission.
Okay.
And I just listened to a particular radio station now. We had one of they brought one of their party's analysts to the studio, and that was saying that we are comparing YX for these things. Let me tell you, my sister, if POS stamina can work anywhere, that machine can work anywhere in Nigeria. It's not about internet. It's not about internet that we are using to browse. No, the way they do it is very, very different. But the truth of the matter is that my sister, if you are not benefiting directly from this government, maybe you are not one of those. You know that there are some people they are just properly connected. They give some people 25 million, 50 million connected people. If you are not one of them, my sister, I'm not sure you can wake up. You can wake up now. You can wake up at your education, your exposure, and that's good. You cannot vote for Baba Tinubu. It's not possible because you are an elite. It's only illiterate that can vote for such a person. That's why they are afraid of that transition.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Barrister, let me quickly take you to another headline very quickly from the Daily Post. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, Nentawe Yildirim, was on a television interview yesterday, and he said that the ruling party, the number is growing stronger. In fact, that they're targeting over 20 million people across the country right now. From their e-registration, they've hit the target of 12 million, remaining 8 million to go. And he says that something that I find very interesting, he tried to debunk the narrative that the youth section of the population belong to a certain political party or certain individual. That is not true. That from the analysis of those who have registered with them so far, 49.8% are between the ages of 18 and 35. 12 million of them have registered with the APC. And it also, again, for me, begs the question as to when people say it's going to be the APC versus Nigerians, are these not Nigerians registering with the APC? Are these not Nigerians also joining the ruling party as well? And does it also knock off the argument of the youth demography being with a particular individual or a particular political party? That's what the APC chairman is saying. Barrister.
Well, you see, I am very happy at what the APC chairman has said. It is only unfortunate that they appear to be speaking from both sides of the mouth. So if through e-registration they have been able to get that much figure, why are they against electronic transmission of results?
but are you not surprised? Because I mean, the impression people give you is that no young person is joining this political party, but he's saying 49.8% are between the ages of 18 and 35. Does it not show again the beauty of democracy as to why even if you think that people are rejecting a particular choice, there are those who also exercising their freedom of choice, also joining that political party as well.
The voting population in this country,
yes,
if we do it rightly, is more than 100 million. So that 14 million are registering for a political party is not something that is out of the ordinary. People are entitled to their opinions, and don't also forget there are people who align with a political party for various reasons. Some are hoping to get, from the sharing formula, and so they will join their political party. Some out of frustration that, well, if it is going to be like this, it is better to join them. And so there could be a number of reasons for that.
Certainly.
But it is a political party, and it is open to all.
Yes.
So if they have members who are coming in and joining them, there's nothing wrong with that. The other parties will also say the same thing about their own parties, that they are also having people joining them. But what I am emphasizing is, if it is this possible for them to get 14 million voters, potential voters,
yes,
then for God's sake now,
all right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello. All right, 0705 5000 949, 009 7000 949, 0906 2000 949. Let's go back to Facebook now. Wike's body language on the lingering PDP crisis clearly suggests a deliberate effort to weaken the party and pave the way for the ruling party's second-term victory. This is not about reconciliation, but calculated sabotage, where the end is being used to justify the means. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, Pope Jueke says, since the pronouncement of Mr. Godswill Akpabio last week on the electronic transmission of result, the internet went agog. This is exactly what transpired in 2022. I hereby solicit to Nigerian citizens to reject Akpabio's utterances from all fronts, now or never. Thank you very much. This one is coming from Tolu Lokbe Adeyemi. Says, good morning. There's no justification whatsoever on why refineries are not working, because we are blessed enough to have them working optimally, and I hope the new NNPCL boss will be different in this regard so that all the problems associated with the fuel crisis can be ameliorated at once. Sulaiman Sharif says the government of today should mandate the telecom companies to upgrade and stabilize the network. Poor network ought not to be an excuse to do the needful. Election results should be mandatory on e-transmission, real-time of figures or vote count per party for automated summation. Result sheets, this would provide more transparency and make our elections more credible. This one says, why is it difficult for the main opposition party to resolve its internal crisis? As it seems it's not ending anytime soon with the actions of late. I will urge them to resolve their differences amicably and come together in the interests of the people so that we can have a formidable opposition that will salvage the country from maladministration of the APC-led federal government. Oluwaseun Ruth says, to ensure a credible election, the electoral transmission process must be strictly upheld. If the government is genuinely committed to free and fair elections, necessary reforms should be introduced to eliminate electoral malpractices. It says this news surrounding the rejection of real-time result by the Senate is not a good one, as it shows a level of selfishness on the part of the people that are supposed to legislate on bills and motion that will move the country forward. I just hope there won't be litigation after the 2027 election if they fail to do the needful. This is Dr. Umar Lebara from Owerri, Imo State. It says, Mr. President has failed woefully in securing the lives and property of Nigerians. We are now living in a country where terrorists have set teeth on edge and lives at the mercy of terrorists, armed robbers, herdsmen, bandits, and kidnappers. And our leaders are so much soaked in opulence that they no longer remember that lives are sacred and precious. All they're after is how to manipulate election results. Terrorism is a serious issue any government cannot afford to joke with, but here we are rehabilitating, shielding and pampering them and rehabilitating them into the force and expect insecurity to abate. How does that happen? Let government be proactive as we are tired of this rhetoric. Thank you for your comment. Quickly, Barrister, let's just touch on this Kwara killings. It's gaining attention across the world from the U.S. government, the Turkish government. Now the Pope has also condemned the killings, urging authorities to protect the citizens. And there are those who are also expressing concern that the president ought to have visited Kwara State. What we're hearing is state visit to the UK scheduled for next month, that he ought to have addressed the nation on these killings and all of that. What are your thoughts?
Nigerians should brace up for, how do I put it? More saddening news. You see, I said this earlier, and it is so unfortunate that our military has allowed this to happen to us. The fact of the matter is this: America has a lot of enemies that are looking for theaters to engage them. Right now, the American boats are on our soil. Of course, they are welcome because our military has shown its incapacity. But the manifestation of these boots on ground may not be all that palatable, because you now have ISIS, what's the Al-Qaeda, and the rest of them
ISWAP
moving into Nigeria to come and fight America. And our country, sadly, will be the war zone. May God help Nigeria.
Amen to that. All right, thank you so much for being part of Papers Review this morning. Don't forget, Papers Review comes your way every weekday, Mondays through Friday. That's from 6:30 to 7:30, and on Saturdays, 6 to 7 a.m. Thank you, Barrister, for doing this with us this morning. Do stay tuned to your laughter station. The Smart Kids Show is up next with INT'L. My name is OLORUNTOBA YUSUF. Enjoy the rest of your Monday morning. Bye for now.